Hi, Upward Bound. Welcome to Math Analysis, Day 5. Today we're starting on our trig semester. Um, Trig functions and right triangles. So first we're going to start with a unit circle. A circle is a radius of 1, or the unit circle has the circle with a radius of 1, so it has the equation x squared plus y squared equals 1. Notice that I have drawn the radius, shown you x, y, and theta, that is the angle. The four corners, so to speak, the axis labels, and that you have the cosine of theta comma sine of theta as the coordinates on the circle itself. If you want to label the unit circle that I've given you with its positive and negatives so that you remember in quadrant 1 is everything's positive, quadrant 2, I think of it as writing on your paper, right? You put your name here, you start the problems, you work down the page, you turn it over. That's how I remember my numbering of my quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that you do have positive, positive, negative, positive, negative, negative, and positive, negative. Also want you to add in reverse order, 1, 4, 3, 2, ACT sucks. Okay, ACT sucks. A means everything is positive, sine, cosine, tangent, all of them. Cosine is positive in quadrant 4, tangent is positive in quadrant 3, and sine is positive in quadrant 2. Okay, so you've been given this unit circle. It does have some radian measures. I do encourage you to fill in the coordinates of each angle as we find them. I will show you a way to memorize the first quadrant so that you can transfer it into all other 4 quadrants. So remember those 30, 60, 90 triangles, right? Well, now they're really important. In a 30, 60, 90 triangle, you had 1, 2, and the square root of 3. So the cosine of 30 is the square root of 3 over 2. The sine of 30 is 1/2. The cosine of 60 is 1/2, and the sine of 30 is the square root of 3 over 2. When the hypotenuse, remember the 45, 45, hypotenuse is square root of 2, legs are 1, so the cosine and the sine are both square root of 2 over 2 when you rationalize that denominator. You will have to convert radians to degrees and so forth. To convert radians, you multiply by pi over 180 and reduce. To convert to degrees, you multiply by 180 divided by pi and then reduce. So degrees expressed in radians, 30 is pi over 6, 45 is pi over 4, 60 is pi over 3, 90 is pi over 2, 180 is pi, 270 is 3 pi over 2, and 360 is 2 pi. You have 6 basic trig functions. Cosine is b over, cosine of theta is b over c, it's the adjacent over the hypotenuse. The sine is a over c, the opposite over the hypotenuse. And the tangent is a over b, the opposite over the adjacent. We learned this as SOHCAHTOA. Sine opposite hypotenuse, cosine adjacent hypotenuse, tangent opposite adjacent. The tangent is always also equal to sine over cosine. Then you have your other 6. The secant is the reciprocal of the cosine, the cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine, and the cotangent is the reciprocal of the tangent. So if we were to find the 6 trig functions for 2 pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, think about where the angle would be located on the unit circle, and think about what those angle measurements would be and where it would match. The cosine of 2 pi over 3 is a negative 1/2. Sine is square root of 3 over 2, and the tangent is the negative square root of 3. Okay. All right, so -1/2 square root of 3 over 2 and square root or negative square root of 3. The secant is the reciprocal of those. -2, again, rationalize those denominators. 2 square roots of 3 over 3 and negative square root of 3 over 3. So negative pi over 4. Pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2 because it's 45 degrees. So the negative is its exact flip down to the fourth quadrant. The negative of pi over 4 is pi over 2, or square root of 2 over 2, negative square root of 2 over 2. So you have the cosine, sine, and tangent for a negative pi over 4, just like you would a positive pi over 4. So using all of this information to solve right triangles, find the missing parts. Well, if I use what I'm given, 8 and 10, the Pythagorean theorem, B, the hypotenuse in this case, is 2 square roots of 41. Now, I never use information that I am given in order to I never use information that I'm given in order to find information and then use that new information. So I am not going to use 2 square roots of 41 at all to find my angles. So the tangent of angle A, right? Tangent is opposite over hypotenuse, so it's 10 over 8, which is 1.25. So the inverse tangent of 1.25 should be angle A, which would be 51.3. Subtract that from 90 and you get the other angle of 38.7. Generally, don't use things that you find to find something new. Again, solving this triangle, the measure of angle S is 70. That's easiest to find first, but then again, I don't use 70 in order to find anything. I use what I'm given. So the cosine of 20 is S over 15. 15 times the cosine of 20. Be sure your calculator is in degree mode. You get 14.1 for the base and you get 5.1 for the height. Hot air balloon. Find the height. The tangent again is of 28 is h over 1.8. 1.8 times the tangent of 28 is 0.9. So since we now know the height of the hot air balloon, what is the angle of elevation from B? Well, the tangent of angle B, the distance from A to B is 2.8 miles. So the tangent of angle B should be that 0.96 over 1, making the angle of elevation from position B 43.8 degrees. Thanks for watching.